Life is interesting, and I'm not kidding. Again, I'll say it again for the cheap seats. Everything, not anything, everything I've succeeded in life has been completely accidental and completely unintentional. Everything I tried, I failed at. Everything I was awesome at, completely unintended. And this is just what makes this world so interesting. Even though, no matter, this won't be part of the primary thing, but let me tell you this. No matter how bad things get, stick around in life. Because it will pull some of the weirdest, funniest, coolest stuff on you. And this is one of those things. I had no idea this would be. Okay, you guys all know I got Asshole Consulting. I'm sorry, Herman, I cursed, but I have to, because the name of the company is Asshole Consulting. I know it's no curse week, but I got to mention that because that's what it is, a proper noun. Where I didn't have time to answer all the emails, and people want advice. It's not that I didn't want to help. I just didn't have the time unless I was paid. I said, look, I got to charge for this. And I thought that would make it go away. I thought people would think I'm an arrogant, cocky jerk. And they didn't. They said, yeah, okay, fine. I'll pay you $10, $15, $25 because usually it's just an email or two. And, yeah, it's beer money. Hey, we're making beer money. Now, another request I get a lot is because I got the YouTube channel. Obviously, you're watching it. And a lot of people say, hey, you should do a video on this. You should do a video on that. And it's like, okay, look. No. I'm going to do what I want to do because that's how I accidentally succeeded at things. I thought doing things I didn't want to do and other people wanted me to do would. But if I just do what I want to do, oddly enough, somehow. And they say, hey, you should do a video on this. You should do a video on that. And usually, half the time, the video is already out there. The information is out there, so I'd be contributing nothing new. Or it's something I really don't care to do. And it's like, nah, I don't really want to do it. Now, this guy, a friend, kind of Facebook friend, not I don't like him, but he's a Facebook friend. It's not like him and I were we're back in Nam together or anything like that. I won't mention his name. He sent me a request. Hey, you should do a video on this. I said, nah, I don't have time. He says, I'll pay you. Yeah, I have time. So now, in addition to Asshole Consulting, if you want me to do a video, and it's not terribly lengthy, if you want to pay me, I'll do it. I think I charged him 10, but he paid 15, so he must really want this video. So, this is for you. I don't want to mention your names. Eddie writes. Casey Kasem? I do okay Casey Kasem impersonation. Eddie writes. Although that was a ripoff of Frank Caliendo. Hey Clary, would you be interested in doing a video about American girls' inflated or distorted perception regarding their SMV, sexual market value? I would pay for you to do one of those videos. And so, I told him, and I'm going to address it right here too. Yeah, I can, and I am. But the man who pioneered this very well is Rollo Tomasi, and he has a blog called The Rational Male. And you just search the sexual market value, SMV, The Rational Male, and you'll get a ton of it. And it's not a theory. It's not a concept. It's absolutely true, 100%. But if you want, I did want to give that individual due credit. So here's my take to answer it, okay? First, you need to understand sexual market value and what happens over the course of time as boys and girls age into men and women from 0 to 50, I guess is when this chart would end. But sexual market value is basically like a quality of currency. And I delve into this deeply in Bachelor Pad Economics, an entire chapter I dedicate to this. But you have a certain cachet or pull or reputation. Okay? And this changes over time depending on you and what you do and what you achieve in life. Now, early on, say age, 12, 13, whenever kids are hitting puberty nowadays. I guess it's 8 or 9. I don't know. Whatever's in the food. But I think it's still 12, 13. Kids hit puberty. And at that point in time, the girls have all the power. The guys want to sleep with girls. Girls, I don't really, not to say that 12-year-olds are sleep. I'm just saying those are the hormones kicking in. Guys are like, hey, let's go. And there's more demand on the guy's side than there is supplier willingness on the girl's side. So the girls, by default, have power in this economic market. It's very economic. It's very literal. Now, who they choose to, not at the age of 12 or 13, kiss, hug, go with, date, whatever, but later on inevitably sleep with, hang out with, and all that, depends on the sexual market value or the currency of the man. Now, your sexual market value or your currency or your cachet, whatever you want to call it, is determined by many things. But in general, your physical strength, this is why we always advocate working out instead of going to bars or clubs. Although you could go there, you got to meet girls somehow. But you're better off spending time lifting weights. 2, your height. Sorry, this is not under your control, men. You just got to do it. If you're short, I don't care, cheat. Wear like platform shoes if necessary. But then on top of that, income status, like if you make a lot of money, again, you're screwed when you're a 14-year-old kid. You're screwed when you're 18. There's nothing, you're a college kid. How do you get that? Not necessarily wealth, but whether you can convince the girls you're rich. That's a key thing. You can borrow money and drive the exact same Beamer, and I've always said women, most of them, do not know the difference between debt or equity spending. All right? So you just have to give the facade that you're rich, although it really does help them long term to be rich. And then I would call it intrigue or charisma. This is where he's got that it factor, where the bad boy thing comes in, where you just got attitude and you're aloof. You're the world's most interesting man. You ride a motorcycle, you mountain climb. You have such an interesting life. You have something going on in your life. You got your own thing going on that women play second fiddle. It's like, sweetheart, I'm so cool, I'm so freaking awesome. I got more important shit to do than you, or stuff to do than you. And that's huge. That is huge. So those 3 or 4 or 5 things ultimately adds up to your currency. Now, if you're fat and you're in your mother's basement, obviously, I'm in my mother's basement. If you're fat, you're short, you don't work out, you have no charisma, you got no game, you don't ride a motorcycle, you're not going out doing your own thing, your cachet, your sexual market currency you're trading with is wood chips. But, and not, let's use me as an example. I'm short, that sucks, okay, too bad. Salsa dancing ballroom instructor, I motorcycle, I don't make a ton of money, but I make enough. Try to think what else. Social status, I guess my status is internet, and I take that back. Economist, nerdy, blogger type guy. That's pretty sad. So I'm probably trading in low-grade silver, maybe copper. Now take someone like the world's most interesting man. Billionaire, rich, adventurous, blah, blah, blah. His cachet, his currency is platinum or gold. Okay? So that's what you got there. Now, if you're trading platinum, girls will go out with you, especially when they're younger, all right? But what gives girls their sexual market value is one thing and one thing only: beauty. Men don't care about anything else. We really don't. Are you thin? Do you have big boobs? Are you pretty? That's it. That's all men really care about in the sexual market. So you can see that when women are younger and they're in their prime, they have the most amount of power in the market, and they can command. They could say, hey, I'm trading platinum. I'm hot. I demand someone who's also trading platinum. I demand someone who's also trading diamonds. So I am the 25-year-old girl, 24-year-old girl, 23-year-old girl going out with the 45-year-old investment banker or the 38-year-old surgeon. Now, this addresses our young friends here. He's like, well, what about the and I'll read it verbatim again. American girls' inflated or distorted perception regarding the sexual market value. And here's what's very important. They are not inflated. They are not distorted because they're at the prime. If you take a girl who's 25, she's physically in her prime. Okay? You throw in on top of it, and this is where it complicates, man. I'm going to get it here. I took my notes, got to keep the screen up. You throw in school, where it's always rah-rah, you go, girl. Government, again, rah-rah, you go, girl. And media, oh my goodness, just watch any TV. It's all for women. It's all for women. You have, basically, I'm going to curse again. Bill Burr said it best. Sorry, Herman. All these women have this tornado of misinformation surrounding them, and no one corrects them because they want to fuck them. And it's true. It's the most poignant thing ever said, I think, in the past 50 years. It's true. So not only are they physically beautiful, and do they have the sexual market value, and can they command a premium in the market and demand to date the guy that drives the Ferrari, they have every aspect of society corroborating that. You go, girl. Yeah, oh, yeah, guy, screw guy. But, so you could see that. So, at the age of, I would say 30 and under for every man, yeah, it looks like these women got attitude. And they do have attitude. And you know why? Because they can afford it. Because it's legit. They don't need you. If you're an accountant, let's say you're 28, you went to college, you graduated, you're kind of getting in there. Now you got promoted from staff accountant to senior accountant. You're 28. You're, by all standards and measures, you're doing very well. Okay? Or you're a plumber or a tradesman. Now you're like a foreman on a crew by the age of 28. Okay? You're doing better than the average 28-year-old. You're doing very well. That's not enough to get a woman who's exactly your age and equivalent physical looks than you, who's working as a freaking secretary, some nonprofit or some social work BS. She's still hot enough she can go and get the hotter guy. It's all economics. That's not what should be. It's what it's exactly like? It's exactly like why do teachers get paid so little and baseball players or professional athletes get paid so much? Because they can. People rather go and pay and see a baseball game than sit and hear another 4th grade lecture about history or something like that. These girls can get better than you, and there is better than you, and these guys will go out with those girls. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Now, let us introduce something as time goes on. Let us introduce what's called the wall. The wall is this metaphor where a woman loses her physical beauty to the point she can no longer attract what she used to. And here's where arrogance and cockiness and a distorted view of themselves come in. Now keep in mind, a lot of guys who really hate women will say women hit the wall at 25. It's all down here, they get ugly. No. The wall depends on the woman. I mean, women can keep themselves in great shape. I've seen women, I remember this one gal. Chicago. Her name was Rebecca. Petroleum engineer getting her master's in science and finance. I was 23 at the time. She was 38. She did not look 38. Okay. You want to talk about a lopsided battle. I stumbled through that one. Do it again. Anyway, she was 38. She was, oh man, just spank. I mean, it was wowzer. Yeah. But anyway, where was I going? It was a good time in Chicago. It was a good time. That's what I was saying. She obviously was going to delay the wall well into her 40s. I mean, this woman was gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And then there's some gals, the meth head in Wyoming. Yeah, well, that gal's going to hit the wall at 20 feet, 23, 24, 25. But the wall more or less hits 30, 31, 32. That's when wrinkles start to show. That's when you're like, you're not as hot as your younger sister. And that's where the investment bankers, the doctors, and the playboys, and the world's most interesting men say, nah, I can get better. Because now it's switched. Now, here's where the arrogance and cockiness and distorted value comes in. Their entire lives, or pubescent lives, their entire lives, they have had society kissing their asses. They have had men coming in. Oh, darn it, who's contacting me now? Oh, look, no, don't do that. Thank you. They've had everyone kissing their asses, men throwing themselves at it, good-looking guys, hot guys, all of them throwing at it, and she could always trade up, and there's always that doctor, there's always that surgeon. Well, here's this hedge fund manager in New York that flies out and visits me, and he really loves me and cares about... Oh, by the way, these guys know enough to lie to these girls. They'll never marry them. They just know enough to lie to them. And then you have TV shows. I like to call them roundhouse-kicking chick cop shows. Because the roundhouse-kicking chick cop, she's cool, she's a cop, she's a chick, she roundhouse kicks guys. And then when she arrests the guy, she says, how's that for equality? It's so witty. You look at Sex in the City. Look at every form of media, the magazines, People, Cosmo. 40's the new 30. It's all lies and baloney. To keep women deluded, to spend the money. You ever try and tell a woman the truth? Woohoo! Oh God, no! Run! Run! Save yourselves! Don't look back in Sodom and Gomorrah! You do turn to salt. If you look back at a woman that you just told the truth, you will turn to salt. Oh, it's bright and early in the morning. But all these shows psychologically delude these women into thinking that they're still hot. And the perfect example is Sex and the City. None of those women were in their prime. And the producers of that show knew that. They conscientiously picked women who were in their 40s. Because women want to be told, eat, pray, love. There, another one. Perfect example. All right? They want to be led and live in the lie. Why do you think soap operas are only watched by women? Because women want to be lied to. Okay? So this keeps up the facade. So here you have a 38-year-old mom, divorced, some other guy's kid, horrible track record, and because she was so hot and beautiful and everyone paid her way through life and she majored in some worthless crap. So she has no economic skills, no employable skills, no real job, no real trade, no real nothing. She's her only value, the only thing that has value, or that she had value, was her physical beauty. And she skated by really easy on that for the first 3 decades of life. Well, not when she was a kid, but you know what I'm saying. Well, now the one asset she has is deteriorating. Right? It's like milk. It will go bad. There's an expiration date on it. It was the wall. But there's a multiple hundreds of billions of dollars, probably $1 trillion industry, if I was to go and look at the NIPA accounts, dedicated to lying to women about youth and beauty and sex and all that other stuff. So when that machine goes into full gear and targets it, because they got money, who do they got money? Through divorce, they're powerful. They're roundhouse kicking chick cop girl. Because, all chicks and cops do roundhouse kicking. How else do they flatten out the 6'8" guy? So this machine, this lying machine, goes into action. They make a lot of money telling women that a Prada bag is going to make you happy, and these type of Jimmy Choo shoes is what's going to bring you satisfaction and fulfillment in life. And they still say, well, I'm sexy. And then you get the vernacular, you get the terminology: cougar, MILF, puma, whatever feline variation. I don't know, minx, and they still think they're hot. Now, they still carry on their attitude. They've never once had to be humble or humiliated. I don't think they've ever been humiliated in their lives. They're told that they are, they're going to have it all this propaganda. So when the time they pass the wall and they're 38, 39, they're delusional about what their prospects are. And that's where they're genuinely arrogant and cocky and have a distorted sense of their value. Now, here's where it gets even worse for them. It's pretty bad being delusional. I don't know if you ever have been delusional. I was delusional. Ended up going to school as a nerd. While I was taught in one school, I transferred from a Christian, or not a parochial school, to a public school. The crap I learned there, and I was brainwashed, got the crap kicked out of me daily in the other school. And I won't go into that, but I was deluded. I had misinformation. It's a painful existence having information that's wrong about the environment you're in. So all of a sudden, a lot of these, so these women are not having good lives by the time they're approaching 40. Men are asking them out less. They're not taking them out to nicest places. Men stop caring by that certain age. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of jealousy going on because they see the guy who they shot down, 10 years ago out with, the gal who was 10 years her junior. Anyway. So it's pretty bad on the ladies' side. It gets worse, though, on the demand side. Because this is economics, and there's a supply and a demand curve. And what ends up happening is as men get older, we get better. Just like Daft Punk. Harder, stronger, faster, better. Better, stronger, faster, harder, whatever. We're like scotch. We're wine. We get better with age. Women literally are like milk. There's a good time to consume, and then it goes bad. And you could see this. Women date older. Why? Because men have more cachet, status, everything we talked about with the sexual market currency and your cachet. That's when men started. Okay, at 28, you were the foreman. Well, now you started your own plumbing business, so you got 6 guys working for you. Now you got that nice little house out, and you got a nice little spread, got a nice truck, got yourself a little Harley. You're living the dream. You're having a good old time. You could afford sushi every night. Right? You paid off your house, started to build up some assets. Right? Maybe you are the investment banker, got a little bit of extra time, you pick up some ballroom dance class, learn how to salsa, get a little trade, a little skill. Maybe you go down to Machu Picchu, do some hiking. Maybe you go travel around, maybe you wrote that book, whatever. You start becoming this really interesting, cool, interesting man. And your earnings potential goes up. And as all this happens, you're no longer that 18-year-old nerd with acne who can't get a girl because you don't approach. Meanwhile, she's dating the local thug or strip club owner or whatever. And when you're 28, you're not approaching this guy like saying, "Hey," with your Ford Escort or your Dodge Neon because that's all you could afford because he's just paying off the end and you're trying to save up money for a down payment for a house. And meanwhile, the 28-year-old girl is going out with the 43-year-old investment banker. Now you're 38. Now you're the investment banker. Now you're the whatever it is that you want to become. And you're approaching six figures, or maybe you're beyond six figures. Now you are trading in platinum, my friend. And what is your 38-year-old equivalent female trading in? Tin, wood, styrofoam, nothing. Because what does she have to offer? She's never skilled up. She didn't study STEM. She didn't become an accountant. She probably is horrible at financial management. Trust me, I know this. I know this. And then, of course, mistakes along the way, got knocked up, married some other guy or whatever. Market value just plummets. Just plummets. Okay? So there's no... And I did a chart. Maybe I'll throw it up. No, I'm not. I'm just going to describe it because I'm too lazy. Here's the other thing that happens with men. So not only on the demand side does the demand for 38-year-old used women go down from men who have the most powerful peak or control or cachet, the interest in women in general goes down. And I proved this empirically where I did a survey and I asked men at increments of age of 5-year increments. I started at the age of 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, all the way up I think to 75. And I said, what percentage of your free time was spent chasing girls? Assuming you weren't married or dating a girl, like if you were single at these stages or the closest year that you were single to these increments of 5 years, what percentage of your time? And it went like this, way up to like 25 was the peak, where almost a full 50% of the time, maybe it was 35, but whatever, the peak was at 25. Of at least a third of men's time was spent going out trying to hit on girls, approaching girls, talking to girls. It went down to 3% by the age of 65. And it was a precipitous drop. I think the age of 45, I'll have to look at the chart again, but I think it was like only 10, maybe 5. It was really low. Men give up. Men say, I'm done. I ain't got time for this. I got a career. I'm an investment banker. I'm a surgeon. I'm an author. I have stuff to do. I have friends. It's not even work that occupies. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to go hike some mountains. I'm going to go on a worldwide tour. I'm going to go surfing. I'm going to learn to surf in the Great Barrier Reef. I'm going to do all this stuff I wanted to do because it's a 100% guaranteed rate of return. Like if you go surfing, of course you won't get up the first couple of times, but after a while it's guaranteed you could go surfing. If you, I don't know, say I'm going to get when I drove my motorcycle, I rented a motorcycle to Alaska, there was nothing stopping me. There was no one to say no. It was, hey, can I rent that motorcycle? Yes. Can I come into Canada? Yes. Can I get gas here? Yes. Can I come back into the United States even though I'm on the other side? I'm in Alaska now? Yes. Can I come back into Canada so I could come back to the United? Yes. Hi, I'm back in the United. Can I come into the United States? Yes. It was all yes. Not once was there a no, but girls can always say no. So if you look at that from an investment of time standpoint, and especially as men get older, they start to realize they're finite. And they start to say, you know what, I can't afford to go to a club for 2 hours, yell over incredibly loud music, lose my voice, spend money on girls that may or may not come home with me or give me their number, only for them to go out with me, maybe to call me, maybe not to call me, only to say no. And if they do say yes, then they're psycho crazy and they have a husband, have a boyfriend, whatever. There's a million things that can go wrong. As opposed to something that does not rely upon a woman or a girl saying yes. I'm going to go to the jazz club. I'm going to drive my car to St. Paul and sit at the artist quarter. I will pay the individual my $5 cover and he will say yes. I will go to the bar. I will say, bartender, please pour me a double of Rumplemans. The bartender, if I have the money, will say yes. These 100% guaranteed rates of return become what's called a substitute good in economics and start to replace women. So that's another, so the demand side goes down. Now, how long does the delusion, does the media, does all this keep women delusional? I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure it's different for every girl. Some women wake up, like the Lori Gottlieb, she finally woke up. She woke up at like 41, 42. Says, oh my God, we have to consider what men want. Others, I mean, you've seen it, you know, Liz Jones, look her up. It's over for her. She's 60 years old. It's done. She was you go girlism, and I'm hot. I mean, she was hot in the 70s, not now. Some gals just take it to the grave. Some of them, and then they get real angry. They get real pissed off. Men are jerks. Men are, I don't know. It's all because I don't know if they've ever lacked the capacity for empathy, altruism, consideration of others. As much as it was they were brainwashed when they had their most cachet, their most purchasing power, the most chips when they're in their 20s and early 30s and late teens, to cash in and score themselves a husband or just a good old guy. Society was look at him. Hey, become Miley Ray Cyrus. Do you think Miley Ray Cyrus is ever going to get married? Wait, she doesn't espouse go get married and find a husband. That's not what you know. So that trajectory, does it emphasize? I think some women maybe have that come to Jesus meaning. Maybe they realize it. They have the epiphany. But as far as my generation, which is about the age the guy's asking, and younger generations, no, it doesn't look that way. They really are that delusional. You know. So, and this is why having, you know, hot girls are a dime a dozen. Sane ones aren't. This is why you got to find. It's really hard to find a girl that's I'll cook for you and I'll be nice to you and I'll show up on time and I'll support myself. It's very rare. It's incredibly rare. So in any case, so I guess I hope that answered the question. I hope we all learned something here today, and I hope I didn't plagiarize Rollo too much. But yes, it's not so much that they're arrogant or cocky. They are, but I would guess unconsciously so. And they have every right. They're not mispricing themselves in their early 20s and mid 20s and even maybe even early 30s. But as they get older, yeah, they're really arrogant and cocky. I mean, I got guys, you know, I'm almost 40. Most of my friends are either in their 30s and 40s, male friends. And they're just, it makes me appreciative I have a girlfriend who is sane, who does have her stuff together. Because I see these guys go out and they lose interest. They lose, you know, we go smoke cigars. My buddy'd rather smoke cigar. I kind of mention him commonly. He's the millionaire pilot. He really is just like, no, I'd rather just get a cigar. Because the women, if they're in their 20s, they're childish and arrogant and cocky and they don't show up on time. They got attitude and lip. And if they're in their 30s and 40s, they got some kind of deal-breaking, damaged good things like other people's kids, they're psycho, and they still think they're as hot as the 20-something girl. So yeah, it's not good. It sucks. Some people say go overseas. All right. I say that the trick is not to find a girl. The trick is to go and do your own thing. The girls always follow after. But just do what you want. Go, I'm going to do a motorcycle thing. Don't ever, here's the best way to get girls. Never factor them into a decision. They're not part of the equation. You say, I'm going to do this. I want to do that. Then when you come back, oh, what'd you do this summer? Oh, spent a month in the Black Hills, fossil hunting, tornado chasing, drove to Alaska on a motorcycle. It's just like they're all like, can I come? Sorry, babe. Grand Theft Auto 5. I know it's so bad, but it works. I'm not here to tell you nice things. I'm here to tell you what works. So, all right, that's it. Hopefully, you all learned a lesson. Oh, and go buy my books: Bachelor Pad Economics, Enjoy the Decline. Also, buy Worthless. It has nothing to do with what the topic we're saying. Those previous two books would. Just go to Amazon and search me, Aaron Clary, and buy my crap there. And so I can continue to do this for a living. Toodles.